Kyle Busch promised Christopher Bell that he has payback coming his way after Bell dumped him in turn one during the race at COTA for the NASCAR Cup Series. Before we get into this, I'd like to ask you, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos here at John Trent Racing. Kyle Busch confronted Christopher Bell following the race. You can see this over at Front Stretch. Let's take a listen. I don't think we can really hear what they have to say in this video, but you can see Kyle Busch is right up in Christopher Bell's face as he is kind of leaning against his car following the conclusion of the race at COTA, where Bell finished second. Let's take a listen here. Yeah, so you can't really hear anything about what they're saying from this video, but we did get an alternate angle here where we get to actually see Kyle Busch angrily march towards Christopher Bell. And we don't get to hear exactly what he says in the beginning. I don't know if NASCAR decided to mute the volume there, but we do get to hear him say you've got one coming towards the end of this clip here. So let's take a listen to this. This is over on the official NASCAR X channel. So you see he gets right up in his face. He's not happy when we can't hear exactly what he's saying here, but we do get to hear it at the very end. So I don't know if he's cussing and that's why they decided to mute the sound there, but let's continue. So you can hear Kyle say, "I have a great respect for you. Have I ever wrecked you?" Christopher Bell says no. And then he says, "Okay, you've got one coming." And then C-Bell responds saying, "Okay." And Kyle just walks away. We did get to hear what Christopher Bell had to say. This is footage, another angle of it. We don't get to hear exactly what they say here, but we do hear what Christopher Bell has to say about what they were discussing, or what Kyle Busch was telling him. And then he apologizes to Kyle Larson for dumping him as well. We also get to see Bell basically just dump Kyle Busch here going into turn one as well. So let's take a listen to this.
I mean, yeah, obviously he's very upset, which, he ended up turned around. And, first off, I'm sorry to Larson in the 5 car. I got him earlier in the race, and by no intention at all, I didn't mean to do that. But, KB is frustrated about what happened in turn 1, and, I don't know. They were too wide going in there.
So that's all the clip goes. So obviously he had more to say, but NASCAR, I guess, just didn't want to share all of the clip, but that is a little bit of his explanation. Obviously, you saw him basically just dive bomb the corner and run right into the door of Kyle Busch's car, spinning him around as he went past him. And that is why Kyle Busch is so upset about him. I obviously think Kyle Busch is probably in the right here. He didn't physically assault him or anything. He went up and confronted him, obviously in an angry manner, got up in his face, asked him, at least from what we heard, obviously we didn't hear that beginning portion, but from what we did get to hear, he asked him, have I always have respect for you? Have I ever wrecked you? Bell admits that he hasn't. And then Kyle Busch is like, "Okay, you've got one coming." And it sounded like, if we look at those hand gestures, he did 2 and then 3. So it's possible he was pointing out that Bell has wrecked him at least 2 or 3 times now. So we'll see what happens if Kyle Busch does indeed repay the favor against his former teammate, Christopher Bell. This was pretty much I guess the only interesting thing from the COTA race. I felt the race was super, super boring. So I guess we got something interesting after the race with Kyle Busch and Christopher Bell here. I guess it's something to talk about. We'll see what happens in the future. But I mean, if they never go back to COTA, I'd be fine with that. I think the only reason the races at COTA were even entertaining anyways was when they were all just wrecking in turn 1 there as they go up the hill on those restarts. But we didn't see that at all today. I'm surprised NASCAR didn't throw some kind of phantom caution in order to have that happen, because this was clearly a massive snooze fest, especially, and this was pretty much the only interesting thing in my opinion, coming out of this. And it's only about like what's going to happen in the future. So we'll see. I've talked about this before. I think that racing needs rivalries. I'm not sure if Kyle Busch and Christopher Bell is the rivalry to do it, but maybe Kyle Busch is trying to start a rivalry with someone. I'd love to see a rivalry. I thought the Denny Hamlin Ross Chastain rivalry was great. It's unfortunate that we didn't get to see that continue. But maybe we'll see something here with Christopher Bell and Kyle Busch. I doubt it. It seems to be a one-way thing with Busch promising payback. But let me know what you guys make of Kyle Busch confronting Christopher Bell. What do you make of Bell's brief explanation that we got to hear there? And just let me know what you guys make of this. Do you think, what do you think about Kyle Busch threatening to get him back and Bell admitting that he's never wrecked Kyle Busch before? Let me know what you guys thought in the comments below.